Welcome to The Explainer. Okay, today we're jumping into something huge, maybe the biggest shift in education since the internet itself. I'm talking about artificial intelligence in our schools. So, is it this incredible new tool, or is there a hidden danger we're not seeing?
So let's just start with one number, 86%. Get this, according to a global survey from just this year, 2024, that's the percentage of university students already using AI tools. Yeah, this isn't some what-if scenario for the future. It's here, right now.
You know, what was once a kind of sci-fi concept is now a daily reality in the classroom. So the big question we have to ask isn't if AI is going to change education, it's how. And maybe more importantly, are we actually ready for this revolution? Okay, so first up, let's look at the bright side, the promise. What could AI be? Well, think of it as the ultimate new classroom assistant. Now, this might shock you. In a typical 50-hour work week, and let's be honest, it's often more, teachers spend less than half of that time actually with students. The other half? It's all prep work, grading, endless administrative tasks, and this is exactly the problem that AI is promising to solve. Imagine this. AI steps in and just handles all that grinding, time-consuming stuff. We're talking about automating grading, sorting out schedules, even drafting up communications to parents. What does that do? It frees up teachers to focus on the things that actually matter. You know, designing incredible lessons, digging into student data to spot who needs extra help, and creating learning paths tailored to each kid. It lets them get back to the whole reason they got into this profession, to teach. And hey, it's not just about helping the teachers. For students, this is a whole new ballgame. These AI tools are becoming these powerful little learning companions, right? They offer completely new ways to tackle and, actually get those really tough subjects. I mean, think about it. It's like having a personal tutor on call 24/7. You're stuck on an abstract science concept, the AI can generate an image to make it click. You need to brainstorm for a history project? It's your partner. It could even run a simulation of a historical event for you. Or, it's 10 o'clock at night, you're stuck on a math problem, you can get instant feedback. That kind of personalized support at that scale, that's something we've never been able to do before. Okay, but, and this is a huge but, this is where the story takes a pretty sharp turn. All of that incredible promise comes with a massive catch. AI gets things wrong. A lot. It can completely invent facts, what we call hallucinating, and it'll present that false information to you with total confidence. And this quote here from Panorama Education really just hits the nail on the head. It says AI models can make mistakes, misinterpret things. Basically, human oversight is essential. See, AI is a tool, a powerful one for sure, but it is not a perfect, all-knowing oracle. You have to check its work. You have to think critically. And that brings us to the perils. All right, section 2, the peril. So if this tool can do so much good, what's the downside? What could possibly go wrong? Well, turns out quite a bit. Okay, so the first thing on everyone's mind, the one you see in all the headlines, is cheating, academic integrity. The fear is that students are just going to use AI as a shortcut, not as a learning tool. But it goes deeper than that. There's this real concern that if we rely on it too much, it could actually stunt our ability to think critically and solve problems for ourselves. But the risks go way, way deeper than just cheating. One of the biggest dangers is something called algorithmic bias. Here's the thing. An AI is only as smart or as fair as the data it was trained on. And if that data is full of, say, historical biases about race or gender, the AI learns those biases. It might even make them worse. And that could lead to really unfair outcomes for students from certain backgrounds. And look, this is not just some theory. The U.S. Department of Education actually held these listening sessions, and guess what the top concerns from educators were? Algorithmic transparency and evaluation for bias. They're basically screaming, we can't trust these black box systems if we don't know how they're making decisions, and if we can't be sure they're fair to every single student. And the list just keeps going. You've got the digital divide, right? What happens when some schools can afford these tools and others can't? That gap just gets wider. Then there's data privacy. I mean, these systems are hoovering up huge amounts of student data. Where does it go? Who protects it? And we come back to that black box problem. If an AI gives you a grade you think is wrong, how do you even begin to challenge it if you can't see how it made the decision? Okay, so the stakes are obviously really high. We've got this amazing promise, but also these serious perils. So, what do we do? Where do we go from here? Well, the answer isn't to just ban the technology. It's all about keeping a human in the loop. What this really means is that the role of the teacher is going through this massive change. The old model was the sage on the stage, the teacher up front, transmitting all the knowledge. The new model, it's the guide on the side. The teacher becomes more of a facilitator, a learning designer. Their job is to help students navigate all this information, to question what the AI tells them, and to basically help build their own unique learning paths. And this isn't just a nice idea. It's so critical that it became the #1 recommendation from the U.S. Department of Education. Their words, keep a human in the loop. The bottom line is, AI should be there to augment teachers, to support them, not to replace them. The final important decisions, those have to stay with a person.
So how do we actually do that? It really boils down to a 3-step plan. First, we need to develop AI literacy. That means teaching everyone, students and teachers, not just how to use these tools, but how to think critically about them. Second, schools need to set up crystal clear policies, what's okay to do with AI and what's not. And third, and this is crucial, we have to prioritize equity. We have to make sure every single student gets access and training so this whole AI revolution doesn't just benefit the few.
Which brings us to, I think, the most important question of all. As these AI systems get smarter and smarter, how do we make sure they're making us wiser? Because at the end of the day, this isn't just about plugging a new gadget into the classroom. It's about figuring out how to use this incredible technology to encourage the things that make us human. Real critical thinking, deeper learning, and actual connection with each other. The tech is moving at lightning speed. The real test for us is whether we can use all that artificial intelligence to grow our own human wisdom.